Hello people, this is Bayer signing in from Spirit Runners UK once again. Today is the 28th of April. Thank you so much for all my subscribers and to all those who've been signing on to my YouTube channel, who have been liking my videos. I'm so grateful. I also want to thank those who signed in to watch the live session that I did while hosted by Sarah Taibo, my good friend. During which I answered quite a lot of questions that came from people who logged on. We had over 153 people who signed up. Thank you so much to all of you. Please go to my Facebook page, Spirit Runners UK, to read articles and maybe to ask questions. If you're not a member of the group yet, you can ask to join and I will confirm your membership. Anyway, I'm going to go straight into the weekend. How did you guys have the weekend? How was it? I mean, I had an eventful weekend. I ran a marathon. Yes, a marathon, my first marathon for this year on Sunday. And that was exactly 26.2 miles, which is 42 kilometers. And I finished it in just over 4 hours. Yeah, just over 4 hours. So it's really good. Quite challenging because it became very hot while I was running. I left home about 5 o'clock, 5:45 in the morning. So it's quite cold when I left, but it became extremely hot. But I did it because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And you too can. You too can do the same as well. You know, this channel is about how God enables us in our fitness journey and how He helps us to keep a healthy lifestyle. So the focus is on God being the source of your motivation, the Holy Spirit being your enabler and strengthener and your helper when you run, when you walk, when you brisk walk, when you do your aerobics or your Zumba or your high intensive interval training. So what are we talking about today? I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic, a running technique that's been used and developed by Dr. Phil Mufferton to train top athletes. I've used it and it works for me, and it's called the lower heart rate run training. Yes, the lower heart rate run training. Now, it sounds like a very weird topic, but trust me, it works and it's very efficient in helping you in your running strategy. So it was, like I said, it was researched by a medical doctor and top athlete called Dr. Phil Mufferton, and low heart rate run training is about running below your aerobic threshold and can help you burn more fat and stay healthy and run faster. Now, everybody wants to burn fat because fat is being kept in the body by our fat receptors. Fat is stored in the body because it's a very good source of fuel. But unfortunately, we're the ones who've changed the way we live by not using fat that is stored in our body as fuel. Rather than that, we eat a lot of carbs, processed carbs that are not being used because we already have fat, and we just pile it on top of what we have because processed carbohydrates, carbs that are not being used, turn to fat. So we want to be able to use our fat stores. We want to be able to stay healthy and run faster, and that's why the lower heart rate run training technique is very effective and very useful. So I said that lower heart rate run training is running below your aerobic threshold. What is your aerobic threshold? Your aerobic threshold is the uppermost limit of exercise. So it's the highest your heart is going to beat when you're running or when you're doing exercise. So like you may be out of breath, you may be you might feel a little bit of ache or pain in your chest. You feel like your chest is going to fall down or explode. That is your aerobic threshold. So now it's not very good to train at that level every time. In fact, the 80-20 rule says that you only train on your aerobic maximum threshold only 20% of the time or even less. You're supposed to spend at least 80% of your time training below that. And for you to do that, you have to run at a slower pace so that your heart rate comes very low, and that is when you're able to key into your fat reserves and burn more fat. So it's really, really good. So the idea behind the heart rate based training is that you train your aerobic system without overstressing your skeletal and muscular system. Um, it is a different way to be successful at running. It doesn't have to be no pain, no gain. And they always say no pain, no gain. That's not really true, actually. You don't have to have pain to gain. Or going as hard as you possibly can, and it allows for continued improvements over time. So when you use the lower heart rate run training system, you develop your aerobic system. So your heart is more developed, because your heart is a muscle as well. And when you keep the heart rate of your heart rate low, that is lower beats per minute, your heart is given the opportunity to develop over time, and it becomes even stronger. You also you put less stress on your musculoskeletal system, so not too much pressure on your bones, your joints, and your muscles, because you're going hard at it every time, over and over again. And over time, you would see massive improvements. People tend to even run faster at faster paces. They hit personal best. All the athletes that Dr. Phil Mafferton trained using the low heart rate run training, they were able to shave as much as a minute or even more off their minute per mile, their performance. So it definitely works, but it takes time. It takes time. So you've got to be really patient. Keeping effort relaxed can enhance recovery while also increasing the density of capillaries which deliver blood around muscle fibers, increasing the recruitment of slow twitch type 1 muscle fibers, improving oxygen processing, and improving metabolic efficiency. So when you run at a relaxed in a relaxed state, you enhance recovery, because the days that you've run, doing your interval run or your tempo runs where you've pounded the floor, when you're doing your easy run, which is a low heart rate run training, where you run purposely to make sure you push your heart rate low. So sometimes it may actually involve you stopping and actually walking so that your heart rate will drop to the level that it's supposed to drop to. It aids recovery, because you're not putting too much pressure on your body, on your muscles, on your joints, on your heart, on your bones. Also, it increases the recruitment of slow twitch type 1 muscle fiber. Now, slow twitch type 1 muscle fibers are used for long distance. So like when I did the marathon on Sunday, I used my slow twitch fiber muscles because they're actually designed to go on for longer without being tired. So it helps to develop it, and also helps to improve oxygen processing. So your oxygenation is more efficient, and also improves your metabolic capacity, because you're getting oxygen as you require, the right quantity, it's mixing as it should, and it's burning, enabling the body to burn the fat that is there. So your metabolic efficiency, metabolism, you're able to digest your food more effectively, and your whole metabolic system will be more efficient. So how does this work? A simple formula. Dr. Phil did research and found that all you need to do is minus your age from 180, and that figure is the figure that you train. Make sure you train below that. You have between that figure that you got when you minus your age from 180 and 10 beats per minute max. So there's a 10 beats per minute between that figure and the lower heart rate that you've worked out. So say for example you're 40, so it's 180 minus 40, you get 140. So you train between 130 and 140, and that's how it works. So now if you've had an injury, you minus 5 from that figure. If you've had serious illness, you minus 10. If you've not had any injuries and you run training consistently and effectively, you add 5, and that's how you work it out. I'm going to put all this on my Facebook group, Spirit Runners UK, so you can get it there and you can always make reference to it. So if you're not a member, please request to join and I will confirm your subscription. What are the advantages? The advantages of this is really straightforward. I've already mentioned most of them. Heart rate training prevents you from running too hard and on your easy days or your recovery runs. So you're not putting yourself under too much pressure. You know, it forces you to run slower. You're not running hard because 80% of the time you're supposed to be using the lower heart rate run training. It also reduces the risk of fatigue and overtraining because you're spending 80% of your time, most of your time, doing this lower heart rate run training. You are not tired quickly and you're not overtraining because you're not putting too much pressure, too much stress on your muscles, on your bones, and on your heart. It helps you to recover, so you have more time to recover. So during that time when you're running, because sometimes you may even actually have to stop to walk to make sure your heart rate goes down, you know, you have that time to recover. You find out by the time you've come back, maybe you've done about 10 miles. It doesn't even feel like you've done 10 miles, you know, and the body gets used to this if you do it over and over again. Disadvantages. It can be frustrating for those who like to run fast. I found it frustrating because I like running fast. I find that sometimes when I'm out there and using the low heart rate on training, I'm going so slow and I'm like, oh, this is frustrating. But guess what? If you stick with it, the benefits are just wonderful. Benefits include things like improving your pace when you're running over a period. So you start, like I started last year, and by this year, I found that there was an improvement in my pace. All those athletes that Dr. Phil Mufferton trained using low heart rate run training, after doing this for a long time, miraculously, as the body is designed, it doesn't make sense, I know, but they found that their pace was, they shaved up at least a minute off their pace. Now, when you're a runner, a minute makes a difference. I also noticed that last year, when I started this training, I was doing 8:45. I was doing 8:45 minutes per mile, 8:55 minutes per mile. But this year, I've started clocking 7.5. I've run 6.5, 7:45 minutes per mile. So I can see an improvement and a marked improvement in my pace, you know, overall. So it helps you over a long period to be able to run faster without stressing your body. You know, so you develop that, and that comes naturally. You find that the day I was running at 7:45, I was running at 7:37 or 7:32 the other day. I didn't even know, it didn't feel like I was running at that pace, you know. Also, it requires a lot of patience before you see the results. You have to wait. It took me months. Sometimes it could take as long as 3 months, sometimes 6 months, but you who know what you're trying to achieve, you just have to be patient enough to see it to the end so that you can enjoy the benefits of this. Well, I hope you found this beneficial. It's a technique that definitely works because there are a lot of top athletes that use it, and I've used it and I know it works. So if you want to do your half marathon, you want to be able to take things up a notch to be able to run a marathon or ultra marathon, you need to try this. And if you're a brisk walker, this definitely also helps because when you're brisk walking, you can control your heart rate. You can walk a bit slower if your heart rate is going up. And if you do that repeatedly, you develop your aerobic system. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to those who signed into our live session on Thursday last week with Sarah Taibo for all the questions that you asked. We put in stuff on my Facebook group page, which is Spirit Runners UK, one word, Spirit Runners UK. And if you are not a member, just request and I'll accept your subscription. God bless you. Stay safe. And remember, God is your focus. He will motivate you. He will enable you. But you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You're doing the right thing. Just keep at it. Don't give up. God bless you. Bye.